can't leave yet again? Oh, I've probably got to... Leo's joined. Probably got to talk to Marty about it first. Oh, question Marty.
So where exactly is this place?
Don't walk
few
over
hours
there.
drive from
Walk back
here,
over here.
in the middle of nowhere.
Come on.
It's a creepy old mansion.
Back over here.
Of course.
You think it's a good idea to go there? What if it's a trap?
Shit's
I
in your way
told you,
because it's
you
my
can still
desk.
go back.
Not your bed.
Oh,
You were
wouldn't
just
we
laying
love
in your
that?
bed.
No such luck, boss.
You were just laying in your
If I
bed.
get killed or locked up forever in an insane asylum,
Turd?
that's gonna be on you.
Thanks, pal. I deserved that.
Still
Natasha?
trust her?
I never trusted her, Marty.
I mean,
His head's kind of
I
bopping
believe
in the
I'm sure
place,
she was
or
honestly
in the view.
afraid. People don't
No.
fake it that easy. But I can understand
Just
why
come
she
over
didn't
here.
tell us about her former profession.
Or how she knows Molly.
Yeah,
Would you
that
shut up
too.
about Molly?
And the death of Deborah complicated things
I
even
don't
more.
give a shit about my wife, ex-wife.
Sonny, she didn't seduce you, right?
What, Deborah?
I mean, Natasha.
Oh,
Ah, don't be stupid, Marty. My old ticker hasn't been beating for a long time. Not that way, anyway.
Yeah, all right, boss.
did we just talk about
So what do you think happened to the corpse?
your cock?
Probably been eaten. Horrible to think about, but even if half of what they
He's a
say
rooster,
about the hive is true,
You know,
starvation, riots, arson, predation.
You're telling me. Makes my feathers stand on end when I think about what goes on in there. And we pretend we don't know about it. As if Roachtown isn't even part of Clawville.
This won't end well. I'm afraid soon Clawville's gonna burn once again. And because
go,
of its
buddy.
own foolishness.
you know I don't want
That's
you
if
up
another
here.
meat war doesn't
You
break
don't care
out
about
first,
stuff on here.
Because then, the whole wilderness will burn.
Lovely prospect, eh?
Either way, it was a damn clever move for Wessler to hide the body in
I'm
Roachtown.
starting to think it's that
It's the only place no one will ever find
twin
it.
switcheroo.
Like the belly of a burning ship. Sounds about right. Who'd have thought?
What are you doing?
I believed that little rat. I thought he'd changed. Idiot.
There's a point when it's too late to change, Marty. His past caught up with him. Whatever he did since then doesn't matter.
Not much.
Exactly. And that's the case with us, too. That's why I won't back down. Even though a voice in my head is screaming
Voice
right
inside
now,
my
"Leave it all
head.
behind And have another drink.
Maybe we should do that.
Sorry.
Maybe we should.
All right. Does that give us the okay to... No, we still got something else to do. Do I need to... call? Mental institution with a ridiculously long name or religious long history, according to the pictures. Looks like a castle with vampire bats and cheap horror movies. Do I have to call? 555-966.
Hello. You've called the Let There Be Peace Forever mental institution for ill and damaged minds. What can I do for you, sir? Or madam?
Well, I'd like to inquire about a patient who I believe is
Hopefully
being
this comes through.
treated at your institution. His name is Albert Wessler.
I'm sorry, sir, but I can't give out that information if you don't have the password given to relatives. Do you have one?
Unfortunately, I don't have that. I'm not a relative. I'm calling from the Clawville Police Department.
Oh, I see. In that case, officer, I'd advise you to visit our institution personally. Our director and I would be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, miss. I guess I'll do that.
We'll welcome you with open arms, sir. Have yourself a beautiful starlit night.
Oh, thanks. Goodbye.
See you soon.
Ooh, I don't like that at all.
So,
We have to go there.
the thought gives me goosebumps.
Chicken bumps aren't good enough for you?
Ha ha ha.
What time of freaking day is it? I still can't leave yet. Dude. I asked him all the questions.
So, I get the couch?
It'd be better if I called Lewis. He'll open up a room for you to sleep.
Oh yeah, there's
Whew,
all the
great
rooms are
idea.
open, so because no one else lives here. So I take it I go to
I'd
bed.
still like to take a peek inside.
No.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, Marty. I wouldn't do it if I were me either.
A lot
Ooh,
of
it gets more and more enticing.
dirty socks and blankets
I'd
and.
still like to. Ooh, it gets.
All right,
I'd still.
shut up. What am I missing then?
I've had enough stimulus.
Look at the
I
city.
still have nightmares about the Great Fire.
Really? Were you alive then? How old are you exactly?
I was 3. And maybe it's not even
Oh.
a true memory. Just a
Holy
collective
shit!
memory of the
There's
city.
3?
I see the
Then?
flames.
I don't know
I
when
see
the
the
Great Fire
burning
was, so
buildings.
maybe I shouldn't ask.
And I hear the screams.
Hey, wait a minute. I thought you weren't born in Clawville. Aren't you from Averia?
Exactly, Marty. We were just visiting Clawville when the fire broke out.
I'm surprised you ever returned.
Well, maybe that's the reason I did return, Marty. It's like when someone falls in love with their captor, you know? Somehow I feel like this is my place. No matter how much suffering it brings, Clawville's fate is intertwined with mine.
That
Heavy
probably
stuff.
came over the mic.
The old days.
I don't know what to
You know, I miss him sometimes.
What? The hype? Us as celebrity cops?
Nah, the work, the buzz, the phone ringing at 4 a.m. and knowing if you pick it up, you'll be dragged into something terrible, because that's your job. And of course, you pick it up every clucking time.
I'm not sure it's healthy to enjoy that.
Hey, no healthy animal becomes a cop in Clawville.
Yeah, true.
I don't want to go through.
It's chaos.
Okay, I don't want to go through every picture. There's something
A
I'm not
closet
hitting.
that's closed forever. A stack of...
All right, I can't click on that. Is there something in that codex I'm missing? I guess. Meat War. The Great Meat War was the biggest and most bloody conflict in the known history of the wilderness, ranging from 822 to 849. In the beginning, it only affected Altera, a two-headed continent, but in later years it spread to the 12 colonial provinces, including all of Clawville's 4 colonies. During the Meat War, about 80 to 90 million animals died. After the war, 27 species were declared extinct. I can't.
So where exactly is this?
A few hours drive from here, in the middle of nowhere. It's a creepy old mansion.
Do I literally, did I have
You
to
think it's a good
question
idea to
him
go
again
there?
over something I
What
already
if it's a
questioned
trap?
him?
I told you, you can still go back.
Huh, wouldn't you love that? No such luck, boss. If I get killed or locked up forever in an insane asylum, that's gonna be on you.
Thanks, pal. I deserved that.
And I've asked.
You still trust her? I mean, you believe her?
I'm sure she was honestly afraid. People don't fake it that easy. But I can understand why she didn't tell us about her former profession.
Or how she knows Molly.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, that's same stuff he's answered before.
Thanks for everything, pal. Truly.
Don't mention it, Sonny. If it weren't for you, nobody would have tried to kill me with a Tommy gun or set fire to a ship with me in it.
Yeah, how lucky you are, huh?
Damn right.
So he said something about sleeping on the couch, and I said no. We'll get a hold of Lewis. I fucking called Lewis. What was Lewis's number? 932? 932. Duh. So I was wondering, I was like, is there more to the phone call that I didn't get? And then I realized, oh, that's right. He said something about sleeping on the couch. And I said, no, we'll get Lewis to hook you up, so.
Hey, Lewis, it's me again.
Oh, hello, Sonny. What's up?
Were you sleeping, pal?
Me? Oh, I wasn't. Anyway, I'm always at your service.
Would you open up a room for Marty?
Naturally, Sonny.
Thanks, Lewis. I'm not even gonna say it.
I will. You owe me one. Again.
Yeah.
There we go. One of my fingers needs to pop and it's like stuck. It's been like that for about a week. Hold on, let me see something.
I slept like I used to sleep years ago. Like a miner or a soldier. Empty. Dead tired. Then I saw Tessa, my darling little daughter. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't recall her face. I reached out to her, but she just kept getting further and further away. Then I saw Molly. But she wasn't
looks
real.
like this is going to be the
Just
final
a
chapter.
ghost of a memory.
Maybe. Looks like it says there's only 4 chapters.
I'm here, I cried. But all I heard was laughter. Not hers. Who's there?
Just wanted to see how long this
She
was.
appeared. Natasha.
Crazy.
Just stood there
Bitch.
laughing. But her eyes were cold. Then she said something. Painted red. Painted red. Painted red. That was just a dream, Sonny. Nothing more. I looked at Marty and I saw the same thing in his eyes as he probably saw in mine. It's time to hit the brakes, to turn back, go home and forget about all of this. Of course, I stepped on the gas instead.
All right.
Honestly,
so
I wasn't
now we're at
expecting
the
anything
asylum.
good, but this,
Ooh, just like a horror movie.
I was thinking the
Look
same.
in the background. I can't
Appearances
remember.
can be deceiving.
Let's
Wait,
hope
what?
so.
You can look at the nurse who we were gonna have to speak to. What we got here?
This
Resident.
guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too. That would explain a lot.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well,
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's him? M.B.
Who are you
Davis
looking at? 'Cause
himself?
he's behind you.
I'm sure of it, pal.
Hi, Pika.
It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
Here.
Oh, no. The poor devil.
I'm trying to pet you. Go ahead. Fine, whatever. Okay, what can we look around here?
Even if you manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100
Let's
miles.
just go live out in the woods.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out.
The music's kind of creeping me
We
out.
should go to reception first. Let them know we're here.
All right, so let's.
Of all the great wild ones.
Greetings, miss.
I love
Is
it. That's
really
great.
You?
Well, yes.
Yes.
It'd be funnier if they
really
were looking
is
up.
you, the chicken police.
I'm afraid so.
Of all that's furry and plumy, that's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really,
Oh,
really
also-
excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures.
Pass.
And I even collected newspaper articles when I was a little girl.
Indeed.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
Okay.
We really...
Oh God, oh God, oh God. Take a deep breath,
Calm
Miranda.
down,
Take a deep
Miranda.
breath.
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, I am. I just needed some air.
I think you got plenty up there.
Dear detectives.
The music's kind of
Santino
creepy.
and Martin, what can I do for you?
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
Possibility that she might need to be a patient here. Okay. I still don't know who this is. Miranda's a giraffe, female, full of life, full of hope, full of almost everything, and she is a big fan of us, unfortunately. Overly nice nurse we met behind the desk at the asylum. Her name is Miranda, and she's embarrassingly a huge fan of the Chicken Police. Well, let's ask this lovely lady some
Say,
questions.
miss, what can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
Isn't
The
that
place seems pretty empty. Do many people
the,
work
isn't
here?
that the name of
We
the
have 32 residents and 7 nurses.
the
including
teacher
me.
in
We also have a 3-person maintenance and
Final
cleaning
Fantasy
staff,
VIII?
and of course, the
Miss
heart
Quetzal?
and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal.
I'm sorry,
himself.
Dr. Quetzal. Wow,
I see. Now, this Dr. Quetzal,
Right.
is he the director here?
This was
Exactly.
he.
Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor, and even a friend.
Quite a guy.
He certainly is.
Okay. Susius Quetzal.
So who is this Dr. Quetzal exactly?
Please pronounce that whole
He's
name for me.
a world-famous researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho.
Okay.
What?
Unraveling the mind.
Yes, I know. I
It's
just went to the
most
restroom,
crucial
but
mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
So this doctor's some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right
he
now.
was looking to talk to
He's
us.
swamped, is he?
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. He is very, very, very busy. All the time.
I thought so. Now, what can you say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear
That's
them
why we need to
inside the
talk to your
institution.
boss.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us, the Chicken Police.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Miranda, this case is a matter of life and death.
I mean, not really, since
Lives are in your
somebody's
hands.
already dead.
All right. All right.
All right.
I'll
Well,
do it.
that we already knew of.
Albert Wessler. The patient's name is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never
I'm
forget
still
this.
thinking the whole twin
Please,
change.
Don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
Well, can you give us any
So
information
when
on
can
Albert?
we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Thank you.
All right, let's scope out people. I wonder if this is Molly. Dr. Quetzal. Green tree python. Cold, distant, professional, and he gives me the creeps. Professor's real philosopher, scientist, writer. Oh, real polyhistor. Scientist, writer, philosopher, and who knows what else.
We need to let them know we're here.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how big a star you once were. Ending up lonely and crazy in a rotting insane asylum in the middle of nowhere is like the universe restoring its balance.
That was very poetic of you, Marty. Almost deep. Careful you don't drown.
Cluck you.
um.
Insane.
Sonny, it's not funny.
Kind of just stand around here for a moment.
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall,
Beware.
until the last door.
Well,
What
I'll
a surprise.
tell you beware.
It's enough to
I'll
mention
tell you
Wessler's
where to
name
be.
and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really
I'm telling you. It's
see.
Twin Switch.
We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
I'm telling you.
Where is he?
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
He's right
Well,
there.
reptiles have a disgusting
right
body
there.
odor, Marty, but they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly. Great wild ones, you scared the hell out of me. I already
It's a snake with hands.
Arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell, and birds
And legs.
used to be our prey once upon a time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
That's not weird or
Lucky.
anything.
Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
How the fuck do you have hands and legs? That's my
Why do
you know what?
have
I'm getting
bars
that.
on your windows.
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents. With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient, am I right? It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
So you're crazy too.
Your office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth? Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I see. That makes sense.
Let's see. I already talked about his walls over here, so why didn't you take
An
it again?
isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
What
are you doing, buddy?
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment. Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't
No,
miss it.
stay down,
We're already
please.
here.
Marty, cluck up.
Please. What's cluck up mean? All right. Well,
To
let's
be
talk to
honest,
the great doctor.
gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive
All right.
me.
Well, turn around.
I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude
Come
of
on.
me.
There you
My name is Dr. Cethuus Quetzalcoatl, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
Yeah. No crap.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my
Hey,
partner,
stop.
Martin McChicken from...
From the Predatory Division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead
Sorry,
of
buddy.
you.
You can't get up here without being a butt.
Certainly.
You can't just.
We have
Claw
some
and bite my
questions
cables.
about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds any better.
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
What is this? His sickness?
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service.
Not.
But you must understand, I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, Detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
All right. Well, let's ask. No, you need to stay down. Block you.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time, his first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
Okay.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been on good
Dynasty?
terms, Mr. Santino.
Okay. Never heard it pronounced like that before, but of
What
course
kind
we
of
are
a
talking to a
place is
snake.
this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
We knew this
It
already. We
used to be a
talked to the
mansion.
draft.
Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Clawville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So
Okay.
if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
Well,
What a
make it
lovely
more
inheritance.
accurate.
Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure.
He sounds
about
like
that.
Jafar from
I'd
the
gladly
Aladdin
get you two
cartoon. That which
together
now
if I
makes
had
it
the
funnier because he had the
chance.
scepter
spare cell would suit her
staff.
very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she
Yeah,
likes
now I'm
small,
getting it because he
narrow,
does sound like
secret
Jafar
places.
from Aladdin.
Oh, I see.
Cartoon, not live
What
action.
a coincidence.
All right, well, let's question him. Ooh, all right.
So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Could you describe that
He said
day
in his
more
teens.
specifically?
It
So,
was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Are you staring at the snake?
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
He has yet to
Was
take
he
his
afraid?
eye off the snake.
I wouldn't
Ah, there
say
he goes.
so.
Thanks
It
for
seemed
ruining
to
that.
me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone.
I'm really starting to think they
locked
did
up
the
in
twin
silence
switch.
and darkness.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
All right. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and continue
What
with the special
kind
treatment.
of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't
so they
even know
just
if he had anything
Rushed
wrong
him
with
in.
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
Okay. How did you see Albert?
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around
Exceptionally
him.
intelligent. I'm
What
telling you.
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes. He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland. A magnificent painter.
scrolled the-
And rather good writer, too. Sometimes I even heard him sing.
Why did he have to be locked up?
I asked the same thing at first.
Okay.
Are you telling me Albert had
Well,
multiple
schizophrenia,
personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures.
Well, you already
He had a
mentioned that-
cold and
or wait,
calculating
did the giraffe,
personality who
Miranda,
sometimes,
say that he had
especially on
schizophrenia?
stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what?
So he leaves.
Left the institution. More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
No. Good now. Addicted to details.
When and why did
The
Albert leave
longest one would, of
institution
course,
for the
obviously
first
seem
time?
like the correct answer
It
to
was about
select.
2 years ago.
I'm just kind of
Mr.
thinking, like,
Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea if we'd ever see him again.
But you did.
He returned the same day. Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say
Happy.
happy.
I'm sorry.
That
Yeah,
was
not
unusual
heed.
for him.
I had never seen him like that before, Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for hours.
Did he ever tell you what happened to him outside?
Of course he did. Albert and I had a good relationship. He was working on a painting for his brother.
Was it a painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh, exactly. So you already knew about that.
Yes, Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it.
But I have that torn piece of canvas, so that's good. So did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother? No, Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting. Let's do
Did
this
Albert
one.
tell you about his relationship with his brother?
Oh no, we just started
Rarely.
talking about that
He
painting,
respected
so
and loved his brother, but when he came to talk, he was usually angry.
Oh, why?
I'm telling you.
Fear, jealousy, frustration, I'm
telling you, that's what I'm thinking.
All of these combined.
minus
Albert left
5.
on many occasions
5, I screwed
to
that up.
continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous.
Albert was hurting himself.
Okay, well, I'm
And
getting
on one occasion, he even tried to
the
hurt
point of the
me.
fact that I'm already
It was
thinking about the whole twin switch and everything, but I'm not getting
It
Natasha
seemed his
and
confined
Crocodile.
personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
no.
But its subject.
Exactly. He was obsessed right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back
Done.
now.
I think I'm starting to
So, Albert's
get this.
tongue was torn out or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or rather,
All right, never
one of his
mind.
eyes was missing entirely.
So
Wait,
you're
no.
saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
No.
Yes. And they didn't give
Albert did
any
that to Hobart.
explanation as to
That
what
way
had
he
happened.
couldn't tell him
They
that
simply
he's
told
Hobart
me
and
it
not
was
Albert.
Some kind of accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional.
I'm a detective, damn it.
So very confused.
I know these things.
Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert.
What do you mean?
Focus.
I've already figured it out. I am a smart cock. Okay. You didn't believe Albert had an accident, is that right? Maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly? Shit. I want to talk about both. Give me this
Two
one, though.
fellows who brought Albert back. Could you describe them?
Those two fellas, as you put it, were two remarkably huge, rude men.
A ram and a bobcat, perhaps?
Why, yes. Oh,
One
no.
of them was a tiger, if I remember correctly. He had a rather
fucking
fresh
penguin?
bump under his left eye, and the other one was a penguin, but I've never
fucking
seen
penguin?
a penguin that big in my entire life.
Did they tell you anything besides it was an accident?
They didn't say anything, but gave an obvious signal that I had to keep quiet about what happened.
I see.
-5, damn it. Let's do this
Pull
one.
yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident?
Mind your tone.
I'm
detective.
getting a little
Sorry,
frustrated.
Doc. I can see you're disturbed by these memories.
How could I not be? I'm not a monster. We're talking about a mutilated animal
Telling you.
here.
So, what was he like after the incident?
Even more silent than ever. No surprise, I suppose. He was not only silent in words, but also in his soul and spirit.
What do you mean by that?
He never painted anything again, and his seizures completely stopped.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken.
Yes!
down, so he
'Cause I've already thought, why didn't he write out it was
Do you
Hobart?
think Hobart could have killed Albert?
He couldn't, because he broke his fingers on the shit.
But I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear?
Told you!
in the end? Did someone come for
I'm
him?
gonna be a cop.
That's what's
Or detective,
most
not a cop.
eerie
I'm gonna be a
about it
detective.
all, Mr. Featherland.
I'm gonna be a rooster detective, chicken detective.
His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness.
I'm getting all
We don't
excited at the
know
fact that
what happened
I'm telling you,
to him.
they know it.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad
Nope.
I could be of
Your hunch is
But
not as good as
please,
mine.
I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
I never set my clock back. Daylights. Oh.